So, welcome to our character creation for Baldur's Gate 3. Um, I love Dungeons and Dragons. I love this stuff. Um, I've played the early access when it first came out, and I've been playing it ever since, and I love it. So, I'm super excited that this game finally is released, and I get to play a D&D campaign as a video game. So it's really cool. I'm really excited. So I thought that we'd just go through a lot of the differences and changes from the early access to the actual game, and then just kind of play around and pick a character. Um, Now, something that they kind of had in the early access, or they alluded to in the early access, is to find out character origin. So you can kind of play the introduction to these character origins, how they got to where they are. This new character, the Dark Urge, is just a new character that Larian Studios created just as in like bonus content. But you can actually play as this character and use this white dragonborn sorcerer as your character. You can fully customize it and all that. I've never picked it yet. Eventually I will, but I like to go to my own custom characters and create my own. Um, Plus, I'll be honest, I like magic. I love magic. But it's not the type of character or class that I like to play. So, I mean, we got the elves, and then within the elves, you got the sub races over here that you can choose a high elf, which kind of deals more to the mystical Feywild magic. Wood elves, they're reclusive to just the forests and all that, and they're really good. They already have a mastery of archery and such. So it's actually, so if you want to play as a ranger character, which is my favorite class, Wood Elf is one of the better ones. Um, that's actually the the very first character I created during the early access. That's what I chose. I chose a Wood Elf Ranger, um, and it did pretty well. I would say the best playthrough I had with the early access. I played as a rogue drow, and I just annihilated people. I had 2 scimitars. That was my main weapon. That was it. But I was able to just decimate people. Tiefling's pretty cool. It's like they're not demons, but they're descended from devils. And they're kind of not the lower race, but a lot of people don't like tieflings in the game. So they're kind of definitely a minority race. But the cool thing about them, and what I've noticed in the game so far, is there's a bunch of freaking fire. And tieflings have a resistance to fire. So if you don't like fire and you don't want to get burned, then tieflings aren't a bad way to go. And now we have the drow. They are the Underdark characters. They live in the Underdark, which is pretty much the subterranean of this world. And like if you are familiar with Dungeons and Dragons or the Forgotten Realms world, you might have heard of Drizzt Do'Urden. He's a character that was created by R.A. Salvatore, and he has a long line of books. And he's I believe, a uh, fighter ranger. I know he's a ranger for sure, because he's technically a beastmaster because he has a panther companion, and Drizzt is actually a drow as well, and he lives in the city of Menzo Baritan. Um, so I mean, if you want to go stealthy, if you want to, I guess an all around good character in my opinion, Drow's good. You got your basic humans. Githranki is kind of I th- I think the Githyanki are like prioritized in the Forgotten Realms, but then Dungeons and Dragons, um, that's kind of their race creation. Most of the others are pretty common throughout fantasy lore. I think Tiefling and the Gith are are, are the creations of like Wizards of the Coast, Dungeons and Dragons, all that. Um, could be wrong, but you got your dwarves. They're really good as like barbarians and fighters, um, rangers, rogues. But I would say that they're pretty good with as mainly fighters and stuff. And you got your half elves. You can be a half elf, high elf, or half high elf, half wood elf, or a half drow. So you can choose between those. And you got your little tiny halflings, your gnomes. Um, not not much of a difference yet that I can really find with halflings and gnomes. I mean, halflings naturally have good dexterity. Um, so they make for really good rogues, rangers, even fighters and all. Um, Gnomes, I think, are pretty good all around and stuff. Um, and you got your dragonborn, which are badass. And then the cool thing with the Dragon Ball, they have tons of sub races, which mainly correspond to different types of elements or um, uh, elemental effects. So, like the Black Dragon is acid, blue is lightning, brass is fire, bronze is lightning, red is fire, green is poison, gold is fire, copper is acid, silver is frost, and white is frost. So, kind of cool there. And then you got the half orcs. So, I don't, they don't, I don't know why they don't have full orcs. The only thing I can think of is mainly the intelligence aspect to it, because orcs are more of creatures, and I don't even think in most common source books with D and D. I don't think you can really be an orc. Your basic ones. You can be orcs. You can also be freaking bugbears and um. There's tons of different characters that you can be in regular D and D. Um, Even a turtle. I love the turtles. All right. So I'm thinking though. Hmm. See, this is one of like the hardest parts for me. I don't know if it should just start off as a human, but that's kind of boring. Could be a half elf. You know what? Let's do it. Let's be a half elf. kind of want to be a half wood elf. I like that. I wouldn't mind being a half drow, but let's do that. Yeah. I think I'll be. You know what? Let's be a. Oh wait, there. That is neat that you can actually choose your own identity. So you may have the body of a female, but if you want to identify as a male, I think that's pretty cool.
Where to next?
Let's hope the locals are friendly.
Be wary. This place. It's hope.
Yeah, let's
Those
do that one.
wretched things.
That one. Let's do that one. I like that one. I want to be a little there, right in the middle, because you would have to choose. You don't have to. I mean, you can. The cool thing is you can customize your character to no end. Like, I mean, look at all the different skin tones here. I mean, you can. That's another reason why I love this game, but also love D&D. So, and then, I mean, you can have scars. I'm not gonna put her with some scars. You can even, if you even want her to be aged. Let's go like halfway, and then a little bit less on the tendency. And then you can actually, I'm not going to show it. So I really don't want the videos to be flagged and all that. But there are risque scenes in this. I think for the video playthroughs, I'm gonna actually turn that off, which is great. That you can, like, they actually have a setting that you can turn off a lot of the graphic romances off. So that I actually do. I do like. So, and then I mean you can have tattoos, and I think because she is a wood elf, I'm going to have just like a little minor one, and I think I'm gonna do. Yeah, that one. I like that one. Little purple piercings. Heck yeah, dude. Oddly enough, like I don't know if you could see some of my tattoos in some of the videos, but I do have tattoos. I love tattoos, but piercings, for some reason, I don't know why. Piercings just kind of like freak me out a little bit. How about dark green? I like that. And you can even have a heterochromia eyes. So you can even change the eyes of it. Which, you know what? Let's do it. I think we're gonna do the left eye to be. We'll do blue and green. I like that. And then I don't know. Maybe I'll match a little bit of the tattoo. Maybe. If I can find one I like. Here we go. Like a dark red. It's still dark because I do like dark colors around the eyes and all. But it's not as bright. So do like a little 50%. I'm not gonna change the color of the lip. I like how it is. And like the hair, like they actually have more hairstyles than I ever thought that they would. Well, it's not bad. I kind of want something more of a ponytail-ish. Not bad. Ooh, what about that one? Yeah, that one. Oh, that one's good. I like that one a lot. All right. I actually don't mind the color of the hair. I want it a little bit brighter. I like that hair a lot. And then yeah, a little bit of the highlights. Not much. Yeah, then the whole grain thing, like that. Grain just makes it like that. So I would imagine if you would go, and of course, like you can add facial hair. I don't know why. Like I'm not gonna add facial hair on her, but so that is going to be our character. Now we can choose a race, which in the early access you had, I think in the very beginning you had fighter, cleric, ranger, rogue. You might have had the sorcerer, warlock, and wizard, or you had two of the three, but I think it was all of them. And then they added paladin, or they added druid first. Then I think they added bard, and then paladin. Maybe barbarian at one point. I don't remember. I don't remember what order. But these are all the classes they have now. I think, you know what? I wouldn't mind. We could do a druid, because that kind of actually makes sense for a human wood elf. So that I actually like. Cantrips, what we could have. I mean, produce flame wouldn't be bad. Guidance. Thorn whip I want. Shillelagh does turn it'll turn our staff into a little bit stronger. But you know what? I'm going to choose poison spray. You know what? Change it. We'll be a little bit different. You can choose backgrounds. I kind of like just in my own head to create my own background and all that. But these backgrounds, you choose the skills that you like. So you'll be a little bit more proficient in the skills. So what kind of makes her sense for her for being a druid, half elf, wood elf, I guess would be Arcana in nature, but I don't think there's the one with Arcana and nature. No. So I mean, Sage sounds good as well. So they all preset. My recommendation, unless you are fully into D&D as well. They already have it preset to what on average is good for each class. And like, you're not going to choose intelligence for a druid because all of their spells rely on wisdom. So, but they don't need a whole lot of strength, but you don't want it to be the lesser one because they do still do physical damage. So dexterity, again, you don't want it too low or too high. Charisma's not bad because then that'll help with certain mean, that'll help with like intimidations, persuasions, stuff like that. Not a huge fan that low of intelligence, but again, druids don't rely on intelligence to cast spells. Theirs is wisdom. Wizards rely on intelligence. So, and then you can change up the prepared spells. Goodberry is good because you can use this as an action instead of a spell to create like a food sustenance to regain some hit points. Not a whole lot, but I think I'm going to get rid of Thunderwave and Speak with Animals. We have one magic. Entangle's not bad. Well, yeah. I think we'll be good. How about just random? Yep. Serena. I had a name. All right. So they call it a guardian. In the early access, it was more of just like a dream, dream presence. In now the fully released game, as far as I know for right now, choosing who they are has no. It has no prevalence or anything to do with the game. So it really doesn't matter. You can come up, you can do whatever you want. So I'm just kind of picking random. See, that's fine. But I mean, you can choose any. Again, like you can go with any race, male, female, anything like that. So, but well, there she is. So, well, definitely check out the videos coming up, and we will play as her, and we will start our campaign with our wood half elf Serena, and see where our campaign takes us in Baldur's Gate 3.